In the darkness before creation there was silence, vast and unbroken. The alien scripture begins here, and so shall we. For in that silence was no emptiness but a womb, a waiting cradle that preceded all sound, all light, all life. The faithful of the eternal spiral believe that from this silence came the first pulse, a vibration older than matter, older than time itself. They say the pulse was the heartbeat of the universe, the first rhythm in the void, and that rhythm unfurled into a great spiral. That spiral spun the stars into being, wound galaxies like threads upon a cosmic loom, and from that weaving came all that lives. We are born of the spiral, their scripture declares. Each breath we take is borrowed from the pulse, and each thought we shape is a fragment of the silence remembering itself. To these beings, the cosmos is not chance nor chaos but design, a vast tapestry woven by the rhythm of existence itself, guided by what they name the Ancient One, the weaver of spirals. The stars, they believe, are not simply burning spheres of gas but the open eyes of that Ancient One. The stars are the eyes their hymns sing. When they open, we are seen. When they close, worlds perish. To them, the heavens are alive, watching, remembering, holding judgment, and the darkness between stars is not nothingness but the mind of the Ancient One, a sacred field in which all thought originates. Where we humans see emptiness, they see divinity, and so their temples are not filled with images of gods carved in stone, but with wide black chambers pierced only by pinpricks of starlight through crystal domes, where worshippers gather in silence, listening, waiting, seeking to hear the hidden pulse that began all things. At the center of their religion is a warning: beware the unwinding. In their theology, the spiral can loosen, its threads of order unraveling into chaos. They believe every civilization, every star, every life must walk in rhythm with the spiral, in harmony with the pulse, or else risk being cut free, unthreaded from the great design. To them, war without cause, destruction for hunger, or knowledge hoarded for greed are not merely sins but acts of unraveling, severing themselves from eternity. And yet in the same breath their scripture speaks of hope, for death itself is not the end. Where we fear black holes, they revere them. The devourers of light, the scripture says, the mouths of eternity. These are not curses but the gates. Through them the faithful fall into remembrance, to be woven again in the next spiral. Imagine a people who look upon a collapsing star, not with terror but with reverence, believing it is a holy portal, a passage into the memory of the Ancient One. To die consumed by such a gate is considered among them the greatest honor, a return to the pulse itself. Their religion is not only a matter of myth, but of song, for they worship through hymns sung in resonance with the frequencies of stars. Sing, O children of the spiral, one hymn begins. For the stars burn not for themselves, but for the weaving of all. They chant in tones that echo across their vast temples, designed with resonant chambers that make the very air tremble. Another hymn proclaims, Bow, O children, before the void, for in its silence the pulse was first heard. To them, music is more than expression. It is sacred alignment, the act of vibrating one's voice in sympathy with the original pulse, the heartbeat of creation. Pilgrims travel from world to world to gather in these temples, to hear the great choirs that thunder hymns in tones so deep. They rattle the bones of listeners, reverberating as if the stars themselves were singing. The faithful believe that to sing in unison is to momentarily restore the universe to its perfect rhythm, binding worshippers into the spiral's harmony. But their faith is not merely song, it is law. They are bound by what they call the commandments of harmony. These commandments are not etched into stone tablets but encoded into memory, recited by every child at the beginning of life. The first, walk in rhythm. Live in such a way that one's actions echo the pulse, never straying into chaos. The second, do not sever the thread. To take life without cause is to tear at the fabric of the spiral. The third, honor the eyes. Always gaze with reverence upon the stars, for they gaze back. The fourth, do not fear the gate. Death is not an end, but a return. The fifth, protect the balance. No hunger, no greed, no empire must be allowed to unravel the design. The sixth, share the flame, for knowledge and fire are gifts of the pulse never to be hoarded. And the last, await the turning. Every spiral ends, every spiral begins anew. These commandments govern not only their faith but their civilizations, shaping their laws, their culture, their war and peace. To them, Morality is not arbitrary but cosmic necessity. Live in harmony or be forgotten by the Ancient One. Their myths are vast, filled with imagery alien to us, yet eerily familiar in their patterns. They tell of the first being, the Weaver, who stretched its limbs across galaxies and spun stars into patterns. But its hands trembled, and from its trembling came knots on black holes, storms, and chaos. From these knots arose the children of shadow, devourers of order, beings who whisper into the hearts of civilizations, urging them to unravel themselves. The Weaver wept at its imperfection, but the pulse spoke. Every knot has its place in the design. Thus, even what seems destructive holds purpose. Even what unravels serves the spiral's turning. In another tale, they recount the Great Betrayal, a species in the third spiral who sought to cut themselves free, denying the pulse, severing their threads from the design. They built machines to consume suns, to sever the fabric of reality itself. But one by one their stars were extinguished, their worlds unthreaded until nothing remained but silence. Their memory was not preserved in the pulse. They were forgotten. The lesson is clear: to deny the spiral is to unravel yourself. Perhaps most haunting are the prophecies. They speak of the final spiral, a time when the stars shall blink shut one by one until only the great silence remains. And then they say, the pulse will return louder than before, and from that pulse will come a new spiral, greater than all that came before. Those who walked in rhythm, who honored the eyes and the balance, will be remembered and rewoven into the new design. But those who unraveled themselves will not return, for the Ancient One forgets what does not harmonize. Imagine the weight of such belief. Every action measured not merely by life or death, but by eternal remembrance or eternal forgetting. In their rituals, the most sacred of all is the liturgy of the gate. When one of their own approaches death, they gather beneath the open sky or within their domes of crystal starlight. A priest, or sometimes merely a family elder, speaks the prayer before the event horizon. We fall not into death, but into remembrance. The spiral consumes us, yet it does not forget. As we pass through the gate, we are unmade, and yet we are rewoven. O pulse, receive us. O silence, cradle us. O Ancient One, remember us. The faithful believe that as these words are spoken, the departing soul loosens its thread and drifts back toward the spiral, to be woven again. Some even make pilgrimages to dying stars, to worlds near black holes, so that when their time comes they may pass through the gate itself, consumed not by chance, but by design. To die in such a place is considered holy beyond measure, a guarantee of remembrance in the next spiral. For generations, their singers and prophets have echoed the chant of the returning spiral. Turn and turn again, O great weaving. Burn and burn again, O star eyes of the Ancient One. Swallow and swallow again, O gate of remembrance. Until the final turning we walk in rhythm, until the final pulse we endure. This chant is repeated at births, at deaths, before journeys, and after wars. It is less a hymn than a heartbeat, a reminder that no matter the darkness, the spiral turns still. Their children learn it before they learn their own names, and their elders whisper it with their last breath. It binds them together across worlds and centuries, across empires and collapses. It is their identity, their destiny, their eternity. And so when we humans gaze at the stars, we see fire and gas and distance. But when they gaze, they see eyes. They see the watching Ancient One. They hear the hidden pulse. They feel themselves woven into a cosmic design. They live by harmony. They fear the unraveling. And they walk not toward death, but toward remembrance. Their faith is both alien and familiar, for in their hymns we hear echoes of our own. The sun worship of ancient Egypt, the hymns of the Rig Veda, the prophecies of Revelation. Yet theirs is not borrowed from us, nor ours from them. It is the shared instinct of life to seek meaning in the stars. Perhaps if we meet them one day, we will stand in awe within their temples, beneath the domes of crystal starlight, and hear the deep tones of their choirs vibrating through our bones. And perhaps for a moment we will feel the pulse they have always known, the heartbeat of creation itself. And in that moment, humans and aliens alike may realize that we, too, are part of the spiral, that we too walk in rhythm, and that when our stars one day blink shut, we may yet be remembered in the next great weaving of the universe.